What is going on, guys? Rated Designs here, and of course, this will be the part 2 of the interfacing tutorial that I promised you guys, of course, for 200 likes. That was pretty awesome. So the last one of the orb actually did pretty well. Sorry, I think I have multiple windows open. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, so I just wanted to say before, thank you guys so much for the support on my video. It was a pretty cool tutorial. It was a redone one just because I feel like it was necessary that we started there and you can move on. So anyways, I don't remember if I saved the PSD of this. So let me, yes, okay. So for people that aren't really aware, I made this banner for myself. I'm going to zoom in 100% on it, and this is basically a rundown of what it does look like. Very interfaced, very high-tech, a lot of, glowing stuff going on here, and liquids, and orbs, and all this different wires and stuff. And we're going to get through all of this. I want to get through as many as you can. As you guys can see, I have so many layers here just because of the time consumption of what this... I mean, like, it takes forever to do this. And, there's a certain way that you have to do certain things. So, of course, it's not the easiest thing in the world. But we are going to get right into doing that. So, of course, today's going to be on these bars. It's just, interfacing bars. We're going to show you how to do the indents. I'm going to show you how to actually get the feel of this bar and everything you possibly can do. And it can be done in these circles and everything. As long as you know how to light and you know how you do your lighting, you are going to be perfect. All right. So first thing we're going to do here is we are going to create a new document. And of course, if you're still working on something, this could be just done here, while you're working on something. If not, just this is, basically how you do it. I'm just going to do a straight bar with a certain lighting. Now, anything that's, before I even start, I want to just express, for people that aren't very familiar with lighting, if something is if something is light, you mix the shadows with the darks. If something is dark, you mix the highlights with the lights, and vice versa, and all those other things that you possibly can do. And it's pretty simple once you get it down. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to take my pen tool, and I'm just going to make a nice kind of bar figure looking thing, kind of like what I would do. All right. And we're going to just, of course, make this a new layer. I usually keep it the same gray as the background. And you just delete the path and you can move it around. Now, the first thing I do, and I do use the bevel and emboss technique. Some people always ask, like, how do you get that? There's many different ways you can possibly do it, but this is just, the way that works for me. The first thing I usually do, and is I usually, of course, the size right here, you're going to want to move this down to, well, if it's a big thing like this, you're going to want to make it a 5, and you're going to move your depth all the way up to 1,000. And I usually use chisel hard. So now actually I'm going to make this maybe a 3, or actually we're going to go with 2. And what I also love to do is with our shading angle, which this is going to dictate your light. Personally, I like to have it about 120 and about 30 as my altitude. Now the reason is, maybe actually 50. No, I take that back. Maybe 35, 30. Yeah, it really just depends on what you are feeling at that moment. And we're going to actually move this up to about 4. And the chisel hard, should I make it smooth? Yeah, I'm going to make it a smooth feel, smooth transition. It really just depends on what you want. And this is just a starting point. And you're going to make the opacity on this about 15, because this is your light. The light is shining from a left to right, and it's going to be, of course, on the top of everything. And your darks, you're going to want to mix about 50. We'll do about 30. But this, I'm actually going to do about a 10. And that's basically what we have so far. And of course, the drop shadow you can add later, but that's, you know, I'll add it right now just for the hell of it. I usually do 20, a 10, and 50%. And this is basic, just basically getting this down. So once you kind of get this technique down, you got it. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do the pen tool thing again. Now you can do a marquee tool for this, but I personally like using pen tool. It's a lot more accurate. And what we're going to do here is this is, you know, legitimately all by eye. Is I'm going to basically give my, if you guys can see the outer edge almost in this light, you come in about, you know, half an inch, maybe a centimeter in or something, like a pixel in or something, 2 pixels in. And you're just going to make a little outline kind of like I did and make a big box under it. And you're going to make right-click, make selection. Now here's where the dodge and the burn tool come in as a, you know, more of a, you know, work with it type thing. So what we're going to do here, for people that don't know, in my last tutorial I kind of showed you guys how to use the burn and dodge tool, and we're going to use them again because that's legitimately what I love using these for. And what we're going to do is, as you guys can see, the light is up top. So to counteract that and give it the more of a bevel and more of a feel to it, you're going to want to add a little sliver of black and or a dark shadow. Just kind of give it a little bit more of a popped out feel. So what we're going to do is hold shift, and you're just going to want to command, I'm sorry, I believe that's, and you kind of want to just give it a feel like this. Now what it kind of shows is that it's almost like an indented bar, and it's like an outline. Now for people that, you know, I use my settings, I usually do my range as a shadow for my burn tool. The reason is it gives it a blacker feel to it and a, you know, deeper, darker shadow, which is something I prefer. Some people don't, and they like to do it by eye. Completely up to you. Now what we're going to do is on the bottom, of course, now, you know, now that we have the top indented, we're going to want to have the bottom indented. So you're going to want to eye it, make sure that you kind of have a good feel for what it is, and you're just going to do the same thing, except we're going to go up. We're going to make sure we just have a little sliver right here, and we're going to use our dodge tool this time. Now the dodge tool, it really doesn't matter what you use this on. You just do the same thing. And as you guys can see, it's not a very clear. Let's see what shadows does. And as you guys can see, there you go. Kind of gives it that feel of, you know, it's a dark feel to it, and it kind of gives it a nice little indented bar type of feeling to it. And you can move this around. That's why you know, everything you do is going to be on this one layer, so you can't screw up. I mean, like, if you screw up, yes, you might have to start over, or you might have to, you know, deselect some different areas, or you might have to Command Z, which is for me Command Alt Z, to, you know, undo a lot of things. But you can only undo so far, which in my opinion, I think Photoshop should make it where you can undo as much as you possibly want. There shouldn't be a cutoff. But anyways, yeah, that's basically what this is. But now we're going to get into, if you guys look into the interface, as you guys can see, there's the little indents that you guys can see, and they're kind of like a technological feel to it. And you know, it's something I personally really enjoy doing. But I'm actually going to add a little bit more of a feel to this, guys. So don't mind me. I just like giving this steel feel to it, as you guys can see, like that. And, you know, kind of gives it just a dirty feel. But anyways, what we're going to do here, this is where you're going to create your new layers. And you're just going to keep making layer masks, and you're going to want to take a brush, and you're going to want to get this hardest hard brush, about 1 pixel, 1 or 2 pixels, it doesn't really matter. Make sure the hardness all the way up. I usually do 2, just really kind of, and we're going to zoom in all the way. For people that don't know, this is going to give it a really cool feel to it. But what you're going to do here is this is one of the things that I like to do, is you're going to want to kind of start up top and give it a shift slant. So like something like this, and then you're going to want to go over here, and you're going to slant it back off. Now the reason is because there is a roll off here. So, and you're going to want to hit stroke, simulate pressure, brush. That's perfect. Now what you're going to do is you're going to Command J or Control J if you're on a PC, hit Command I or Control I if you're on a PC, and you're going to move it whichever your lighting is coming at. So if it's coming from the left side, so we're going to move the black to the right. We're going to merge these two together, and we're going to select Overlay. Now what it does is kind of gives it feel of an indent, and this is, you can move these bars all over the place. You know, once you make one, you can kind of screw around and make others. And you know, it's kind of by eye what you want with it. It's not 100%. You know, this is what it needs to look like. This is what it needs to look like. Kind of eye it. If you know what a text, you know, or not a text, a technological indent looks like, go for it. I do a lot of stuff kind of like crazy. Like I'll start here, move there, move down here, move off here, and then kind of bring it back. And you just stroke, Command G, or Command J, sorry. And then we're just going to go up and to the right, black, merge the layers, overlay. And you can pretty much do that all over the, you know, the bar. And that is basically a bar. These are how you make all the bars. They're honestly all over this banner. As you guys can see, I'm trying to use this as more of a reference point, just so you guys can see what it's talking about. But as the curves get into it, it's the same thing. You know, as you guys can see, you know, darks, lights, same type of thing. The more curves you kind of get into it, the more you got to just go with your feel. That's really what it is, you know. And once you get the look of it, you got it down solid. Now, next one, I'm going to do vents. All the vents, for instance, this vent right here, the pocket that you guys see right here, and we're going to get really in depth with those. And I really want to show you guys how to do that. And then the last interfacing tutorial is going to be the, of course, you guys see the orbs, not the orbs, the glowing ropes and the wires and all these different things, and it's going to be one big one. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that. But the one last thing I do want to say about these is that there is another way you can get this to look. If you are a grungy guy like myself, there's another way you can get these to look cool. If you have some sort of grunge brush, if you have something, the best way to do it is grab just a nice little grunge brush if you have one, kind of put it over this, make sure it's, of course, and you kind of just hit an overlay, make sure it's white, and it kind of gives it like a metal feel to it, almost like a really cool, you know, an actual metal bar, and it's very cool. You can screw with the opacity a little bit if you really want, completely up to you. But yeah, that's the bar tutorial. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. It's pretty basic, but it's really, really, you know, you can use it. I'd love to see what you guys do with it. You know, tweet at me anything you guys have made with the interfaces. I love orbs. I just, you know, the feel of the unknown, weird, eerie orb is always cool, you know, and it's really, really technological, and that's something that I really love in my design. And other things, of course, in life, you know, everyone loves the new technological stuff. So definitely go for it. I'd love to see what you guys can do. Radio players, all that stuff. Cool. But anyways, so let's get another, you know, 200 likes on this for the next one. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this. So I'm trying to really give you guys, you know, the good old rated tutorials back again. I'm going to just start uploading as much as I can. You know, I realized a few days ago that, you know, views don't matter to me anymore. And it really never has, but, you know, I would get so caught up in, you know, oh, my video's doing bad. I don't care anymore. I'm doing this. This is back to where I'm rejuvenated. I'm back to where I want to just upload for fun. And these are your tutorials, and here you guys get them, you know, and I hope you guys enjoy them. But, of course, check out all my social links. Check out Twisted. It's a great team, and we're going to be launching very soon. Probably, when you see this, you'll probably already be launched. But check it out. It'll be all in the description. Anyways, make sure you like this. Hit the like button, of course. Give it some crazy likes. And rate, comment, subscribe. So don't forget, guys. I'm ready to deuces.